After watching the film, some disappointing things that we did. The deal right before halftime could have cut that thing to a 3-point lead, and it's hard to tell anymore. I don't know what a hook and hold is, what this is, what that is. It doesn't matter. What we haven't done a good job is overcoming a little adversity when something strikes like that. And so instead of going into halftime 5-6, maybe down, we go in 11 down, start out second half, get 2 stops, get 2 buckets, and then they hit a big 3 on a loose ball. So I didn't think we did a very good job of that. And the roof kind of caved in. I thought Josh, wasn't quite himself. And I thought I thought we went too much one-on-one. We didn't move the ball as well as I'd like, and we didn't run as much as I'd like. We usually get 60% of our buckets off of fast breaking, and that's one of the areas we're hurting. As far as Michigan, they hit the 7 threes. They hit too late. I thought we did a decent job on that. It was the loose ball things, this ball going out of bounds, save it for a dunk, those kind of things that I thought really hurt us. And we're going to try to, guard things a little bit differently on a few other plays, and that's what you do in between games now, and see what that does for us. I think our guys are confident that they're a very good team, meaning Michigan is, but that we just got to stop those little lulls, especially at the end of the first half, and see if that can make a difference. Yeah, it sort of does because, but in a tournament, the 1-day turnaround or 2-day turnaround is usually a completely different team. So when you play the same team again, it looks more like the NBA playoffs than it does college. And it doesn't happen that way very often. So I would say that, the prep we had today was to review some of the film, review some of their plays, and review a lot of what we think we got to do offensively a better job of. And that's what we'll continue to do tomorrow and see if that'll make a difference on Sunday. We really don't have a senior. Josh went through it last year. Okay. And so he didn't want to go through it again, and he's really our only senior. So kind of a strange deal. Even the 2 managers that are seniors went through it last year. So that's going to be a strange senior day for us, and I don't know. We're looking at a few things, but, other than maybe doing a little something for Josh, he kind of went through it and knows he went through it and feels comfortable with that. So, I haven't totally decided, as dumb as that sounds. If we do, it'll be something small. But most importantly, no seniors other than Josh, who's already been through it.
Hey, Tom, I'm just curious with that short road trip. Coming back, did that rob you of some time to reflect, or was it okay to allow you to get back to the lab sooner?
Yeah, in all honesty, Lindsay, it gave me a time to watch the film, and I watched the film, and it made me nauseous because I just thought we did some things that we didn't need to do, and especially offensively, I thought we got in a situation where we didn't think we were running the offense right. We changed people, and Aaron and Josh, that's the problem with trying to play them at the point. It really wears you down. So we've got a couple other things figured out we're going to do, but it gave me a good chance to watch it, gave me a good chance to reflect immediately on it. It gave me a good chance to watch what I thought, calls I questioned, things like that. Yeah, it was good. It was, hour was perfect. There's enough time to reflect and enough time to move forward.
Great, thanks.
That's a great question, Chris. I would think that it ranks on the top. I mean, I don't know if I've ever had a guy that actually, for almost 2 years, thought he might never play again. And as you say, this time last year, I'd say it was 1090 that he would play again. Not much of a chance, and hadn't even really made the decision until the summer that he was going to give it a real shot. And then when the summer came, it was still so gradual. And to think of where he is and what he's been through, even last night, I mean, and then to put him through this gauntlet of 7 games in 15, 16, whatever it is, makes it even harder on him. And he went through COVID. I mean, he's almost like a walking miracle. And I don't want to use that term like that because there's some people that truly, truly are miracles. But when I look at Josh and what he's done, and we've thrown some leadership responsibility on him, we threw some things on him offensively, defensively. We had him play the point some. He is playing in the 30s now, minutes a game. He's got to do it at both ends. My respect for him, as I told you last week, was off the charts. I just think he is one of the great senior day stories, or double senior day stories. And I'm a lucky guy to have coached him. And I mean that because you talk about perseverance and learning how to get up one more time than you're knocked down. I mean, he got up, got knocked down, got up, got knocked down, got setback, surgery, setback. And I swear to you, it was October. And I did not think, I was really getting excited that we'd get him for 15 minutes a game in October. And then all of a sudden, it was 20 some, and then it just ratcheted up and looked like it was going to be smooth sailing. And, as they say, God only gives you what you can handle. And he got knocked back again with COVID, and that was 20 days and, a couple weeks recovery. And here he is, just in time to play a couple games, get his feet under him again, and then go through the 7-game gauntlet. And I'm not sure many guys could have done it. I'm not sure anybody's done it in my career here. So I'd say that might rank right on the top, to be honest with you.
We've kind of joked a little bit about it that, I mean, if he decided to take a COVID year, he could come back for year 6. And if he tried to appeal, he could go for year 7. I mean, that's amazing in itself. But I would imagine that pro basketball is the next thing he probably wants to chase that.
Him and I are going to sit down. I mean, I think he does. He's just got to make sure that he's perfectly healthy. And what would, I guess, a COVID year mean to him as far as to get him prepared to play beyond? I mean, all those things are a little more realistic. You could look at it as, hey, should he get his time to try to go? I would say yes. Would another year under his belt, total health, because he is healthy, give him the best chance? Those are something that Josh and I and his mom and dad will talk about. But it's been fun to watch him go through it. It's been fun to watch him in the success of going through it, I should say. And hard not to be proud of Josh Langford. He's a good role model for a lot of guys. Load management is not part of his. It's not in his dictionary. That's for sure.
Hey Tom, this isn't a warm and fuzzy question like that one, but going 0 for 9 from 3 yesterday. You said you didn't get to move the ball as well as you wanted to. Last time those threes come in transition for you guys. So how do you hope to improve upon that come Sunday?
Well, we hope to run a little bit better, but moving the ball is, they do come in transition. As you saw in the Indiana game, Gabe hit 2 big ones in transition. Aaron got 1. But they also come by moving the ball. And I just thought the second half, we looked tired. We probably were a little down because we did some, what I would call things that didn't make sense there, and frustration. And I don't think we handled that real well. So I think there's a combination of things, but I think we moved the ball better, run a little bit more. And, the 0 for 9, it almost excites me that we only took 9, because sometimes you get in a game like that and you just start firing threes. We've had that happen to us too. But guys hung in there with it. I think we'll shoot better. We'll be at home. Hopefully that'll help.
I'm just kind of wondering what things stand with Rocket. How have you seen him respond to, after what happened last night and looking at that play?
It's as I told you a week ago. I think the hardest part for a guy who seems like he scored a lot in high school, there was no question that his defense led to his offense last year. I think everybody would agree to that. Didn't shoot much different a percentage, but he was so good defensively, and that's what I told him. I thought he's lost his tenacity, and you look at things and you kind of show him, but actually he had a pretty good day today. So I don't totally know. I just know that he's got to play better, and I got to coach better, and those two things got to happen, and we're going to find a way to make them happen.
Go next to Grant Couch.
Tom, I'm wondering what the advantage of, there must be no better scout team than actually playing your opponent 72 hours before you play them again. And what you're able to learn from that you maybe couldn't in normal setting. Like, are there things from the original scout you go, this doesn't work, this did, let's try this?
Well, I think I told you, Graham, that when I had my little looks at the NBA, my NBA buddies, like Doc Rivers or Flip Saunders at the time, or, there were two or three guys. And the one thing they said you'd love about the NBA, you wouldn't love the travel, you wouldn't love the losing streaks, but you'd love the playoffs if you got there, because best of seven is a big chess match. You play a game, next day you go back and you say, okay, what did you do well? How do you think they're going to take that away? What did you not do well? How are you going to change that? And we did a lot of that last night when we got back, and this morning, on a couple of things. We didn't think we needed major improvements, really, on the defensive end at all. On the offensive end, they played good defense, take nothing away from them, but we played bad offense. And the ball movement in that, and what we did from the point is not acceptable. So we're going to have to do a better job of that. But it is kind of interesting. For the first time I've ever had to deal with it, I could see where the Lakers and Celtics and flying from one side of the country to the other, there was probably a lot of chess matches going on in those airplanes, and it had to be kind of interesting, and I could see where it would be fun to try to guess and decide and make the right moves. And yet at the end of the day, got to take care of the ball. You can't make plays that go from a good rebound to a turnover to a basket, or a loose ball to a three. You can't make those. And at the end of the day, sometimes the ball's got to go in the basket. So that's what we're kind of hoping for, and figuring we'll do a better job of.
We'll wrap it up with one from Max Sharp.
Tom, when we talk about the rivalry in the traditional sense, I wonder what it was like there last night, when a night that would normally be that place is buzzing. They're playing for a championship in the rivalry, but to do it in that setting, how odd it was, and then also to turn right back around and know everything that's still on the line in your building 2 days later. Does it affect the way you feel as playing in a rivalry game, or do you felt like it did at all?
No, I'm sure, and Juwan hasn't been through it really as a coach, but a little bit last year. But you're right. I mean, it's completely different, especially when there's things on the line. It was surreal last night. It was just bizarre. I mean, it's you play a lot of games and you realize at Purdue it's going to be this, at Indiana, but your rivalry game, and to have, I don't know, a couple hundred people in the stands or whatever, it was strange. I'm not sure either team, loved it, but it is what it is, and we got to do what we got to do. And like I said, we're one day from getting all 20 of our games in. And that's there's a lot to be said for that, for our players. It was one of our goals, one of our missions. We found a way to get it done. And somehow, some way, we're going to make sure the rivalry still heats up. But it's not the same when there's a couple hundred people compared to 15,000.
Coach, that appears to be all the questions that we have.
Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you Sunday.